Hey everybody and welcome back. This is Leap a Lot, and today we're going to get back into some Final Fantasy VI. This episode has some really important story beats, but if you're following along for the challenge part of the run, there isn't going to be any unique or interesting combat in here, so you can probably feel free to take a pass on this one if you're not super interested in just a rehash of the story. If you are following along for the story though, this one will be pretty big, so let's jump right on in. We're back. We have Leo, Celes, a couple of their random nameless guards, and it sounds like it's time for the Empire to finally make peace with the espers. So we have Yura here, who is apologizing for the things that happened in Vector, and Leo as well, apologizing for the things that the Empire has done to many of the espers. Locke and Celes are saying how nice it is that they're finally done, they can relax. And then it's a little, tense. Realm says, "I'm too hot, Grandpa." I think that's supposed to be a joke about things are getting like steamy, but I don't know. It doesn't come across super well. So everyone's laughing. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Another laugh. Oh no. So, I mean, obviously things can't go well because then the game would have ended just here. So instead, Kefka's going to come and just mess things up for everyone. He's brought in some of his goons, and as much as he's supposed to be a threat, he's also like a clown, so he gets knocked over by his own troops, and then he says, "Hey, why don't you guys just destroy this place?" And Kefka's troops don't appear to really care that the other Empire soldiers are on their side. So I'm not sure what it is exactly that they're supposed to be using to like knock us down in one hit. Maybe it's some high-powered magic, or maybe it's magitech. Not sure. Kefka tells Leo that he was ordered by the Empire to do this, or the Emperor rather, and then he starts turning espers into magicite. Now I have to admit that's obviously very bad. That's we don't want to do that, but I would like to have the ability to turn things into magicite. You know, I'm just saying, like, we could learn a lot of really good spells if we had the ability to just turn things into magicite. So, but we're not bad guys. We're good guys, unlike Kefka. So Kefka says, "Burn down the town." And they're going to get to work. It doesn't seem like this is a good place to be. We're all just, I don't know, like passed out on the ground over there. And Leo is going to go rebuke Kefka. He says, "You can't be doing this," basically. And then he gets knocked out. So very strong, the general of the Empire. And we're actually going to take control of Leo here. And we are going to challenge Kefka. I just wanted to pop into the settings to show you what he looked like, show you that we can't equip or change his relics, and then we'll go in and we'll start a quick little fight with Kefka. And this is a pretty cool one. Leo has this really cool shock ability. In a normal fight outside of this one, if we were able to use shock, it's a multi-target attack. I believe it uses your like stamina stat, which is not something that's very relevant in this game. That's a different discussion, but basically all we have to do is chug through a little bit of a fight with Kefka. He'll use some magic on us, but Leo has some really beefy equipment, so this fight isn't too dangerous. You can potentially heal up using potions if you need to, but we'll see that I actually don't need to do that during this fight. Okay, so after our little tussle with Kefka, he mocks us a little bit. And then Leo is kind of looking around because Kefka seemed to die but didn't. He just kind of disappeared. So then we have this really, really long... Kefka is literally going to spell out the words Emperor Gestalt in, I don't know, about the slowest text I've ever seen. And then he says, "I need you here." And Gestalt appears. And Leo says, "My liege." He kneels. And Gestalt says, "I deceived even you." It sounds like this whole time he wanted to gather more magicite to gain more power to continue his war. So the things that we learned during the feast might not have been true. And then Gestalt says, "Leo, I'd like you to take a snooze." Oh, but what's this? It wasn't even Gestalt. It was Kefka. So apparently we weren't even fighting Kefka. He did some, I don't know, some crappy anime stuff. That wasn't even me. That was my shadow. And then he knocks us down, and we threaten him, and he stabs Leo to death. Hate, hate, hate. Okay. Well, if you were hoping that we were adding Leo to the party, I hate to disappoint you, But we are not. That is the last we will see of the General Leo, which is unfortunate because he's got some pretty good skills. He seemed like a good dude, but it wasn't meant to be. This is a actual death, not unlike Aerith in Final Fantasy VII. There is no Phoenix Down or life spell bringing him back from this one. No matter what the internet told you, he's not coming back, okay? So you don't have to push the truck to get surf or whatever, I don't know. And then we cut away and we see the cave to the sealed gate. And the seal in front of the door is kind of cracking and then explodes. So that's probably not good. We would have to assume that espers are probably going to be coming out to enact some kind of revenge. And yeah, we see them flying. Wait, we're here to help. The same kind of little scene that we saw when we were fighting Kefka last time on the bridge. And kind of a repeat of the same creatures flying through the air too, which is kind of silly. Though we saw a little whale there. That was Bismarck. And then I think the other ones were Carbuncle and Phantom. But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So off they go. They're going to fly around and they're going to take a very long and kind of, I don't know, wasteful path to come find us. But when they do, we will see how Kefka deals with this. Because, well, the last espers lasted so long against him. Alright, so Kefka says, oh, basically he's mocking them. And he says, I'll show you my Magicite collection. Ooh, what a jerk. Then he says, I'll neutralize your abilities. So I don't know exactly what this is supposed to be, but check this out. His Magitech soldiers are going to bear the brunt of this one. They're just gone. I don't know where they went, but we'll probably never see them again. So this guy isn't afraid of a little bit of friendly fire. What he can do now, though, is whatever magic he was using before, he can just kind of swoop it out into the air and does a little loop-de-doop and comes back with some Magicite for him. Again, totally not advocating for killing espers to get Magicite, but I would like some more Magicite. And then we'll go into a little cutscene. We have someone that looks kind of like Ifrit, who is going to drop 3 fire spells in a row. They are not going to do a single thing to Kefka, as he has the world's greatest shield. And instead, what he's going to do is he's going to turn it into Magicite. So what he uses here looks pretty similar to the X-Zone spell, which we'll get eventually. We won't make much use of it, but we'll need it, I think, once or twice. And then they turn into Magicite. That doesn't happen for us. So his secrets are his own, I guess. And so, yeah, Kefka's going on a little bit of a, I don't know, mocking spree. A little bit of a megalomaniac situation going on here, but he shoots out a whole bunch of those beams, and man, that's a lot of Magicite. So many spells we could learn. What a waste. And then he says he's going to head through the sealed gate. And then he says, I don't believe this. And I don't know what that's a reference to, but it's going to cut to black. How did we get out of this? That's a really good question. Apparently, maybe he just left? I'm not sure. So we see this grave with a sword in it. Terra lays some flowers in front of it. It's apparently General Leo's grave. And Terra asks if people really want to be like her. She's seen some pretty nasty things in the pursuit of power so far, like the mind control and just straight murder. And Interceptor is on the scene now, and apparently very wounded, so don't know where Shadow was, but apparently whatever he was doing, it didn't go well. Interceptor doesn't really leave Shadow, so the assumption here is that Shadow passed away, but I mean, we don't really expect that, right? So we'll figure that out later. We'll grab him. And then after that, the airship shows up, and we are not controlling this. This is not a cutaway. This is what's actually happening in live gameplay. So Setzer and the rest of the crew are here. They tell us the Emperor is a liar. No way! So we find out that Edgar got some choice information from a girl who was bringing them tea. I wonder how. And Sabin kind of chides him for that. But sounds like the Emperor planned on doing them in Vector and potentially being done with the returners. They find out that General Leo was killed, and Cyan seems to regret that a little bit. Edgar says we need to figure out what we're going to do next. We should regroup. And then, oh yeah, we have new party members to introduce. So Strago and Realm need to join us. They'll cover just a little bit of their abilities, but nobody knows what mage warriors are. I don't know that it's really been referenced anywhere, so I don't know why we know about it, but we do. And then we hear from Realm that she's gonna sketch Sabin because he was mocking her, and that is not what we want to see. So they'll try and calm Realm down a little bit. We don't want to see two Sabins fighting each other. And they finally agree to let Realm come along, so perfect. And then Realm says, "What's wrong, lover boy?" to Edgar, which is a little silly. She's only 10. And he says, "You've grown up entirely too fast." There's some other text in different translations that I think is kind of creepy, so maybe that's why I don't like Edgar so much. I'm not sure. But moving on, we'll see that we're back on the airship, and we're going to kind of figure out what the Empire's next plan is. Well, they're already at the cave to the sealed gate. So they are going to head inside, and they're going to try and get their hands on even more power, Gestal and Kefka. And then Terra is going to kind of feel something happening. And that's generally not a good sign when that happens. She says the world is groaning. Again, kind of sounds Final Fantasy VII-ish. So this is not good, though. I like this little pan over. I believe this was one of the first times that they had this tech. And we'll see just, I don't know exactly where this is supposed to be, but a giant fissure in the earth. We'll see some people are not going to make it. That's unfortunate. Now this I recognize. This is Jadur, and they can see some kind of shadowy thing above them. Maybe the clouds are just picking up on this lovely sunny day. Or maybe there is an entire continent that has just been lifted out of the ocean and is now floating in the air. So that's going to be our goal next. We need to get up to this kind of freaky looking little place, and we need to confront Kefka and Gestal, because look what they're standing in front of. 3 statues. We were just talking about 3 statues and how they kept the balance of magic in check, and moving them might not be such a great idea. So yeah, here we go. Strago's going to say they neutralized each other's power and sealed each other away. If they were moved, they could rearrange the face of our planet. So that's not good. So the next thing that we want to do is get up there and stop them, but not today, because that's actually going to be the end of this one. We'll pick up in the next episode to head to the floating continent. We'll need to do a little bit of grinding first, but after that, we're going to be wrapping up the World of Balance very soon. So if you like what you see and you want to see some more Final Fantasy VI, make sure to subscribe down below. If you have anything to say, drop it in the comments. Otherwise, I will hope to catch you in the next video.